Hey everybody, ValyGirl and the Retro Knight here, and we are talking all things geek and gaming here on Geeks Unplugged. March was a massive month for all things geek, especially if you were a gamer, because we had three things back to back to back. We had Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves in the movie theater. We had Gary Con up in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
And we had the Midwest Gaming Classic
in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So there was a lot to go over. So we are going to hit various points, 1, 2, 3, and we hope you'll follow along with us. Hey guys, all right, Geeks Unplugged, we are back and we are going to be talking about Dungeons & Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves. So we had a blast at the movie. The one downside, I do not have my D20 popcorn holder. My friend is still holding on to that, but when we have that, I will have to show that off. But the merchandising on this movie was
fantastic.
Was amazing. If you didn't get the D20, the dragon head, I noticed online that there were actually drink holders that were actually dice holders.
Cool.
Oh, those were really cool. Okay, so we don't want to do any spoilers because we know some of you haven't seen it yet. But for those of us, we got to see it during one of the Prime members previews in the middle of the month, and
it was fantastic.
It was a blast.
I easily give it B minus, A plus, A minus, or a B plus. If you're a gamer, you'll love it for different reasons. If you're a non-gamer, you'll love it because it's a great story.
So a ton of Easter eggs, most of which you probably have heard online. If you have run any type of Dungeons & Dragons, looked through the books, had been a fan forever, you are going to notice so many amazing details that they put into this movie. Absolute credit. This really felt, for the first time, like this was a Dungeons & Dragons game campaign come to life as a movie. So, and my favorite scene, one word, bridge.
It's a hell of a scene.
If you don't know it, you will find out. But
and they did a hell of a good job with no clerik. I just love that.
No clerik.
No clerik.
There's no clerik in the party.
It's so weird, but it's so cool how they did it. So
maybe they'll be doing that for hopefully there'll be a sequel.
Ooh, wouldn't that be nice?
So maybe they'll get their clerik. But the casting was fantastic. Chris Pine, Regé-Jean Page, Sophia... all of them.
Leave that all to you. You know the names.
But the casting was fantastic. I loved how they incorporated some of the well-known, like the tiefling, whatever. Either way, tomato. One of my favorite classes is the druid. We are not going to go into an owlbear controversy because I'm one of those that I love the fact that I would love to be able to turn into an owlbear as a druid.
Debate back and forth. Leave for the comments.
You guys can debate in the comments on the whole owlbear situation. But overall, if you haven't seen it, go see this. It is absolutely worth seeing, especially on the big screen. I've seen it twice now, and we're hoping to go back and see it again to get all of the ins and outs. But it is absolutely worth checking out.
Damn good movie. I like it.
Yeah. So next up, I think we're going to be talking about the conventions. We're going to be talking about Gary Con and Midwest Gaming Classic. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Okay, guys, we are going to be talking about one of our absolute favorite conventions. It's the start of our con season. If you don't know, the Retro Knight here and myself are 2 of 3 members of the Pick Up and Go Games team. We write simplified D20 systems and Mint-Tin games.
Card games, other stuff.
Things that you can just pick up and start playing. So,
hence the name.
So, tabletop RPG conventions are one of our main things. They
are our bread and butter, really.
We love going to them. We love playing in them, longtime gamers. And Gary Con kicks off our con season every year. So we were really excited to come back once again and be a part of their vendor hall. It's one of the best run conventions in the Midwest. Absolutely worth getting into. And we came home with some goodies, or should I say, I came home with more goodies.
You came home with a truckload. Lady.
I didn't. It wasn't that bad.
Truckload.
It was not a truckload.
Start showing.
Okay, so first thing I'm going to show off are these. If you don't know what these are from Modiphius. These are Star Trek Adventures. This is just the Game Master's Handbook, which is really, really pretty. I love it.
Hardcover.
But this is the big find. This was kind of my this was my fun part. This particular one, this is the tricorder box set. And in this, I believe, is the player's handbook and a whole bunch of other goodies. I haven't opened it yet. I haven't explored it yet. I have been part of a Star Trek Adventures campaign run by a good friend of mine.
That I started.
That actually is continuation of the game he started over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it continues to this day. I've been part of it for 4 or 5 years.
Aboard the non-canonical USS Wildfire.
USS Wildfire. And Wildfire is going to be going places it has never been before, as I am now in the process of writing 2 convention play adventures for the system with the Wildfire as the centerpiece for Gen Con. So I'm very, very excited. These will be the first time I will actually be running Star Trek Adventures of my own and writing for them. So hence, I needed books.
Mm-hmm.
So second.
The next piece.
So the next piece, I finally got a chance. One of the great things about Gary Con, and the reason Gary Con exists, Gary Con was initially a gathering 15 years ago after the passing of Gary Gygax and his family, who are absolutely phenomenal people who wanted to keep his legacy alive. And what they did in honor of Gary after the funeral is they got together and they gamed in his honor. It is absolutely a memorial to a life well played. And based on that, it has continued year after year in growth and attendees, and so many of the old school TSR folks, the people who were there at the beginning, who helped to write Chainmail, who played with Gary, who have been influenced by him. And we have been lucky enough to be a part of that, because one of the things we believe in is that gaming is for everybody. And our system harkens back in a lot of ways, and on purpose, to some of those original tabletop D&D games, game system mechanics. And I've been very honored to be a part of Gary Con as vendors for several years now, and we just, even if we weren't vendors, we would love to go, because we get to see people and talk to people, and it's a lovely thing.
It's fantastic, it really is.
So beyond that, one of the main folks from the Gygax family, Luke Gygax, Luke, love you, has been writing this game world called Okram. And I finally got a chance to play in one of his games. It's really hard to get those tickets, but I was finally able to get in. He has the Eye, I see if I can do this, Chentufi, the Eye of Chentufi, and then its follow-up, the Heart of Chentufi. And the Kickstarter, which is going on right now, it just started this week, is for the final piece of the trilogy. It is the Fate of Chentufi. So if you are at all interested, this is a fantastic game world. It's a lot of fun, written by the son of Gary Gygax himself. Get in on that Kickstarter now. It's already going gangbusters, absolutely worth doing. So I had to, of course, pick up, after playing in the Eye portion, I had to pick up those 2, and I'm really trying really hard not to read the Heart one, because I want to play in that hopefully at Gamehole Con. Hopefully Luke should be there, and I'm hoping to play.
What edition are they made for, dear?
These are 5th edition. These are 5th edition D&D based, but it's their own game world. It's absolutely phenomenal. Love them so much. And of course, being a Call of Cthulhu person myself, which I love, Luke and his partners have created the Gaxworks crew here, and this was one of the first things they put out, The Dread from Geneva Lake. This was really well received. This came out a few years ago, and absolutely fantastic.
What system and setting is that made for?
Again, Call of Cthulhu.
Good show.
Right there. So that's that. So I had to pick those up because, yes, I need game systems.
And now we move on to...
So, a little history. I have been a tabletop gamer for well over 30 years. And one of the... I started with first ed ADD and moved on easily to second, and then 3.5. We don't talk about 4. You can debate that amongst yourselves too. And then on to 5th edition. But one of my favorite things was always this.
Margaret Weiss's Leaves from the Inn of the Last Home.
I love Dragonlance. I never really got a lot of time to be able to play in it, but I've always loved the Dragonlance world. There's just something to it that just
it's very rich and involving, and
everything that came out for it was just I love. So I've been trying to collect. I have more Leaves of the Last Home. I have the Lost Leaves of the Last Home. Margaret has signed both of them. She is incredible. She is an inspiration to me as a woman in the industry. And I've been looking for this, the original, for 30 years.
Did you used to have it?
I didn't. I never had it. I never had it.
Okay.
I always wanted it. So I recently found an RPG auction site on Facebook, and someone offered this, and I was finally able to acquire it. So of course, to finish the collection, I had to have her sign it. And once again, thank her for being one of the amazing women, and there are many, the amazing women who really were a part of it and broke that glass ceiling and really, we're there to represent women in the fantasy industry. So thank you.
Now, to many of you, this may seem like a simple dice tray.
But it's really pretty.
But it has a giant story behind it. Toward that, me and the owner of Hammered Dan Tables, Mr. Dan Fisher, who makes
Hammered Tables.
Hammered Tables makes fantastic tables for gaming tables.
Hammered Tables, when we first started our very first year at GaryCon as vendors, it was their first year as vendors at GaryCon, and we were booth neighbors. So
he didn't think he was going to sell anything, let alone. Needless to say, long story short,
we knew otherwise. We took one look at his table and said, "Oh no!"
He sold the table he came with, and got orders for 6 more. Next year, he did those 6, got orders for 19 more. He eventually quit his day job, and now he makes gaming tables.
He makes some of the best gaming tables in the industry. So
months ago,
tables.
Before the convention, Dan and I have maintained a relationship and a friendship, and he sent me a text message saying, "Hey, I'm sorry I wasn't able to make it out for her 50th birthday. I even had to reschedule the event, and still wasn't able to make it out. So he said, I want to do my thing, and I want to give her a table." So we arranged some things. What? And there's a video. There's a video. I think it's on. Is it on my? Is it? It
is on our Pickup and Go Games Facebook page. He made them.
The audio is a little hard because we're in the middle of a convention hall right there. But
I hate him for this.
It's a fantastic video
where tell how much.
Where she is gifted a Hammered Dan.
Hammered table.
A hammered
game table.
You're getting hammered.
Yes.
Great.
So if you really want to see my
Oh, I'm gonna cry. Oh, it was great. I love it.
If you want to see that video, it is on the Pickup and Go Games Facebook page somewhere. Go ahead, go laugh. It was an amazing moment. Totally unexpected. Not complaining, but it is. Anyway, so that's on there. So yes, so this was my initial birthday present, which is a really just lovely dice tray. And I picked up something at Midwest Gaming Classic, which we'll talk about.
It comes out his butt. It does.
They come out his butt.
Dice,
so hey, look, Dan, I got something. Look, it goes perfectly. So
dice come out.
This is my Thundershard dice roller to go in my Hammered game dice.
Thundershard would never be able to sit up like that, though.
No,
he's way too fat.
Yeah, he is, but it's close enough. Anyway, so Gary Con, we vendored. It went very well. I played games, so I was lucky enough to get, as they said, into Luke Gygax's Eye of Chentufi game, 5th edition D&D. I was also in a 2nd edition Dragonlance game. You want to talk about a throwback? I haven't played 2nd edition in 30 years. Absolutely phenomenal. Dan Gibson, who wrote the actual module as a 5th edition, then converted it for the convention into a 2nd edition, because if you're going to play Dragonlance, you got to play 2nd edition. And it was a blast. And then I got to play in a 7th ed Call of Cthulhu game run by the Geek Preacher himself, Derek White, another friend of mine, very grateful to have. He slipped me in as a special guest, and we played his Scooby-Doo and the House of Mystery Cthulhu game, and
he's a great guy.
Absolutely incredible. So much fun. It was great to actually game at a gaming convention, because that's not something we generally get to do.
Yeah, because we're
believe it or not.
Working it.
Yeah.
So
but Gary Con, again, happens every spring. They're already starting plans for Gary Con 16, which will also coincide with the 50th anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons. And not only, because it's held in Lake Geneva, not only is the big con part at the Grand Geneva Resort, which is phenomenal. They are absolutely, they're lovely. They go out of their way to make us all feel at home while we're there for the week. But in Lake Geneva, where Dungeons and Dragons was born, you can actually go see the house, 330 Center Street, where Gary and his lovely family, where he developed the game. You can go to the museum, which now, as of last month, now has a permanent Dungeons and Dragons exhibit to celebrate both the game and Gary's contribution to it. As we know, it was Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson together who really developed Dungeons and Dragons. But this is at Lake Geneva, so it celebrates Gary's contributions to it. It's an incredible display. Haven't had a chance to see it yet, but we had friends who were there, and lots of videos, so you can find that online. If you want to take a quick sneak peek, I know our friend Stefan Pokortny has just released a new series on YouTube called The Dwarvenaut Chronicles. It actually shows how the exhibit kind of came together and how people started contributing. Yep, just came out, so that's something else to check out. Okay. There's also the Memorial Stone in Lake Geneva. That's always a good place to kind of go, and kind of remember.
Yeah.
Where all this came from. Why we're seeing Dungeons and Dragons on the big screen. So, okay. Going a little bit past, so we are going to pause here for just a minute, and then we are going to move on to our next convention, which was Midwest Gaming Classic. That happened finished just a few days ago.
Yep.
And that's mainly you, because you actually came away with a lot of stuff.
I came away with a lot of stuff this time.
Midwest Gaming Classic is electronics, where Gary Con is tabletop. So hang on for just a few seconds, and we will be right back.
Here we are back. Geeks Unplugged. This time, I'm taking the lead. We're talking about Midwest Gaming Classic.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Midwest Gaming Classic 23. For those of you who don't know, you actually did some research. You can help me out on this. It started out as JagFest.
JagFest 2K1.
For those of you who don't know, it was
back in 2001.
Back in 2001, it was a collection of Atari Jaguar enthusiasts. Mm-hmm. The Atari Jaguar was a video game system that came out in the 90s, mid-90s. I want to say 95, somewhere in there. And it was just a bunch of enthusiasts that wanted to get together, trade and make custom games, and buy and sell stuff so that way they could complete their Jaguar collection. And it evolved from there. And eventually they decided to rebrand and call it Midwest Gaming Classic.
And now it is the largest electronic gaming
convention in a 10-state area.
Yep, it's huge, and it's getting better and better every time. There is a tremendous amount to play. If you go onto our Facebook page or on our TikTok, you can see some of the highlight videos that we did for...
We did a lot of those.
We did a lot. Yeah. Well, it was good practice.
Yeah, it was. It was great practice for it. Yeah, we did a lot. Practice. There's a lot to do there. If you're bored, that is all your fault.
Yeah, it is. Because there are 3 floors. You have vendor hall. You have the open play area. You have the game museum. You have
auction.
The auction. You have seminars. They have expanded on their board game. You have MyCog, which is the Milwaukee Milcog. So Milwaukee.
I forgot what it stands for.
Oh, actually. Goodness. Anyway, Milcog is there, and they bring their games library there.
Games library. There are a bunch of board games they bring.
And there's a whole RPG and miniatures room now. And there's
artists, designers, creators, programmers,
YouTubers, influencers. They have people
custom pinball. They've got everything.
Yeah. They do. They have vendors from all over, especially in the pinball area. So if you're looking to create your own pinball, or you need
or you want to create your own board,
or you're looking to create your own stand-up console, they have just about everything there, or they have resources to help put you in the right direction. They also this year even added live local wrestling, which was phenomenal.
It was pretty cool, actually. And we had the Midwest Classic Game Show. And I'll be your host, Kirk Whelan.
Yep. So for anybody who was there who wondered...
I played a character, Kirk Whelan, as
whoever was there looking for wondering what the heck was going on. Yes, we actually ran a trivia game show. This was our first year, and we kind of had to play it by ear a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
But... we're coming back next year, and it's going to be bigger.
It's going to be bigger, and it's going to be
better than ever. And then we have some of our great friends. We have the Guys, Games, and Beer, who have probably one of the most extensive collection of game systems and most unique game systems.
They brought everything out of their woodwork, everything from their basements, and everything that they play. Almost every single console you can think of, and several that you cannot think of. And there's even a few that the immortal John Hancock doesn't have.
Oh.
Yes.
John Hancock, John Riggs, a lot of these guys who talk about games. We love you guys. And we're so glad to see you every year. You guys come to this. You guys come to collect and see other people.
4,000 square feet worth of space.
And Power Trip Gaming was there as well.
Yes, and I had a chance to thank them.
They're local. They're within like an hour or so.
Yeah, they're local.
Us,
they're in Wisconsin. So.
And we even met up with the gaming insider, Chris Berensmeyer, who's actually here out of our local town, Rockford. And we are in discussions to possibly be helping out with his convention.
Called R2V2. Check them out on their Facebook page. They just made an announcement today.
Yep. So that is going to be happening later this year in October. Just before Gamehole Con, which is one of our next big conventions that that is our next convention that we are going to be vendoring at.
It's going to be a week before.
Yep. So we're going to have conventions back to back again.
Back to back again. Oh, God. Our mothers are going to hate us.
Okay. So, yeah. So Midwest Gaming Classic, again, absolutely huge. Tons and tons of things to do. And one of the things that they did this year, which is, now normally when we go ahead and get the VIG tickets. It's a bit more money, but it is absolutely worth it because you get to be in on Friday, all of Saturday, all of Sunday, and there are a few benefits in terms of getting, usually they have a custom game that comes with it, all sorts of stuff. This year, they decided to go a slightly different route. While the VIGs did get a bunch of fantastic custom loot, they were also offering to anybody who wanted ahead of time, and they had seven limited edition Midwest Gaming Classic exclusive games across the board. So we had there was Switch, there was NES, there was Super NES, there was even a Jaguar game that was specifically designed. So we chose three. the Retro Knight here is a collector. As you can kind of see.
As you can see.
He is a collector of specifically, but not solely, classic NES games. He also has Switch, so of course we had to get those 3 games. So what did we get?
Well, I got Chaos Between Realms. It was the VIG exclusive. It is a side-scrolling platformer that goes into a couple of different top-down shootings. It's pretty slick.
So as you can see, with these, this is not a sticker. These are specifically designed.
They straight up print right on
and printed for Midwest Gaming Classic.
And almost all of these have their manual. This is Guntenir. It's a shooter made for Midwest Gaming Classic.
And this is for which system?
For the NES, made by Low Blast.
Yep.
And this one is Ronin's Tale. Another exclusive. Let's see here, made by, I can't remember who made this one. Let's get these right. Kunji. Kunji made this. And it is a side-scrolling platformer. Hey, look at that. I have a type. But I was also able to pick up, not part of the Midwest Gaming Classic necessarily, but I was able to pick up the game that should have been for the 80s. It really should have been. So the guys at I Am 8-Bit got together with the owners of Garbage Pail Kids and made Garbage Pail Kids Mad Mike and the Quest for Stale Gum.
Now these guys were in.
There was a 4,000 print exclusive.
These guys were in a room that was specifically for homebrews. So these wonderful people they love designing their own games, either based on existing properties or completely out of their own minds, and actually design and create games. And a lot of them are for sale in the homebrew room. This one really caught our eye. It's beautifully done, fantastically packaged. And the nostalgia factor obviously on this one is huge.
It is great. I had a chance to play it for a little bit. If you watch our other videos about the convention, it's in the room that is the World of Nintendo room.
Yeah. So if you go onto our TikTok or onto our Facebook page, you will see that there was a World of Nintendo store
replica.
Exhibit really. That is just incredibly done. You need to see it to believe it. The people who put that together, thank you so much. It was brilliant.
Professional opinion that if you were to take and add up everything in that store, in that little back room right there, you'd easily crack $100,000 for everything that's in there.
Everything was beautifully preserved and put together, and so please check out the video for amazing. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Other than that, I did get
the
Catacombs of Chaos, which is an Atari game that was made by John Riggs.
Yeah. Hey, John, look at that. For 2600.
Yep. It's a dungeon crawler game.
Oh, looking forward to that one. That's right my alley.
This is Block'em Sock'em, made by the immortal John Hancock. It is a puzzle game, and I got in there early. By the time Saturday evening was done, I think he only had loose cartridges left.
Yeah.
So I have no idea if you can even get it still on his site.
Yeah, but I wonder who that character is.
Yeah, there's John Hancock for you. He's great, and those two guys are out of Seattle. They're fantastic. Yeah. They're very down to earth guys.
And I know we missed seeing a few others who were wandering around, but that's the great thing about MGC. Word has gotten out over the last few years about how amazing this show is. So if you are in, around, or willing to travel to Milwaukee, Wisconsin in the spring, definitely come in and get your tickets when they go on sale. Getting the VIG, again, it might cost you a little bit more, but it is absolutely worth doing when you can go for all 3 days and see and have time, because it is going to take you 3 days to probably go through
everything,
and see everything. They have with the musical, they even have the musical guests on the main stage all through.
We didn't even get a chance to talk about the Mortal Kombat guys.
Yeah, the guys from
Mortal Kombat right over here, actually.
The guys from Mortal Kombat come every year. They're lovely, and Kung Lao rocks your socks off at the after party on Saturday night every year. Always fantastic.
All the Mortal Kombat guys signed my Game Gear cartridge.
Yeah. So we got that. They're absolutely fantastic. We love being able to talk to them every year. We like seeing Tim.
Oh yes.
Boom shakalaka.
Yep,
Yeah.
the voice of NBA Jam Tournament Edition.
Yes.
He signed it too. Oh, it's right in there.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I mean, if you like video games, whether you're old school, whether you're new school, whether you are somewhere in between, you are going to find something that you love at Midwest Gaming Classic. So
I picked up a couple of extra commons from stuff that I just don't find in my area around here, which officially makes my total, drum roll please, $597 out of $679.
So we're getting up there. Now I have to deal with him having to find the more expensive ones.
yeah. I want to break 6 first. That's just my next goal, and after that, it's all up.
We almost thought we had it, but they had to go back and do a recount.
We
were so close.
So close. I had to do a recount. I'm at 597. So, well, I'll get there.
So yeah, if you want to see, we have a bunch of videos again up on our Facebook and our TikTok that have highlights. That have, for the vendor hall, for some of the rooms, for, again, that World of Nintendo exhibit, absolutely we're seeing. It was incredible. There was just so much to do and so many people. We're just going to have to go back next year, I guess, and actually get to talk to people.
Oh, shucks.
And hopefully by next year we'll have this technology down a little bit better. But anyway, that's probably all for us on Midwest Gaming Classic. Stay tuned, and we will be right back. March was an amazing, exciting month, but we have more stuff coming down the road. So for right now, for our Pick Up and Go games, again, with our Crypts and Creatures is the name of our core system. It is D20, complete D20 role-playing in 32 pages, including your character sheet. So you can check us out at pickupandgo.games and find out all about it. This is our newest adventure. It is called Danger in the Deep. This is actually a 0-level module for 0-level players. The pre-gens are already in here. It's a great introduction to the 2C system. So
special rules were created for level 0 characters, and while they still operate within the system, they have special things that they can do and how you earn your level 1. The pre-gens are in the back, and they are permission to photocopy, so that way your GM can make photocopies and just hand them right out to your players.
Yep, so if you wanted to see what we actually do in our spare time, because I don't know how much spare time we actually have, but what we do in our spare time as writers, we write our Crypts and Creatures, again, simplified D20. This is a really great module to be able to give it a try. This only runs $5, and our core system is also only $5. So for $10, you could have a simple, easy to play, no matter what experience level that you have. Pickupandgo.games. You can also find us on Facebook and on Instagram. And no, we're not doing TikTok for that. No. We're sticking with Geeks Unplugged. So coming up, the rest of 2023. We have a few different things coming up. We are not vendoring again until October. We will be at Gamehole Con in Madison, Wisconsin. Again, it is the kind of the bookend to Gary Con at one end and Gamehole Con at the other for our vendors. And we, again, an incredibly well-run con. We love the guys who run this. We've been going for many, many years, even more than Gary Con.
Gamehole 3, I think.
Something like that, yeah. And that is going to be the 21st or 22nd of October.
Yes.
So around that time, we'll be at the week before that.
We'll be at R2V2, one way or another.
We don't know if we're going to be vendoring or if we're going to be working or we're just going to be there.
Or if we're going to be sponsoring or whatever. But we are going to be working with Scott Clark and Chris, and we're going to be working with them some way to help out with R2V2.
Scott and Chris, so the Gaming Outsider, find them on, I know you can find them on Facebook, so check them out. They're great collectors. They have a lot of info. in the meantime, in between those two bookends, there's a few things going on. First of all, you can find, I will be at Origins this year for the very first time. I have been part of a actual play Call of Cthulhu game for a few years now. Called the Old Ways Podcast, and you can find us online. You can find us on Spotify. There's lots of ways to listen to it. Again, the Old Ways Podcast. We have a few different campaigns going on right now. I am part of the massive Nyarlathotep game that is going on, that is continuing. We are currently probably starting to wrap up our Shanghai, China chapter for that, And
what character do you play?
I play Stasi. So Anastasia Edwina Fairchild.
So for those of you who are fans, this is the voice. This is the face of Stasi.
So I know they have Horror on the Orient Express going on. We have a few different full-on campaigns and a bunch of like one-shots and short-term Delta Green shots. So if you like Call of Cthulhu at all, please check out the Old Ways Podcast. I know a number of our group will be at Chaosium Con here next week. And then we'll be in Origins.
Including the Crypt Keeper?
Including not the Crypt Keeper, just the Keeper.
The Keeper, that's right. Yes. They call them Keepers.
Yes, Keeper Mike will
HBO, sorry.
Keeper Mike, Keeper Bridget, Keeper Rena, I think are all going. A bunch of the people are going to be at Chaosium Con next week.
Good show.
But also, you can look for myself and several of the rest of us will also be at Origins. I think we're going to be doing a couple live panels and possibly even a live read. Ooh. So we don't know fully yet, so stay tuned. Find out. Or you can join our Patreon and our Discord for the Old Ways Podcast. So we are on there. We'd love to have you be a part and help us, help support us, keep making some of the best product we can out there. After that, then we move on to, God, that's June. Then we move on to August and Gen Con, the biggest, largest, most humongous tabletop and gaming convention in the world, is again happening in Indianapolis, Indiana, the first week of August. And I am actually going to be there. I am a new member of the Lurking Fears GM group. And I'm incredibly excited. I am writing 4 modules to run at the convention.
Good luck.
2 of which are going to be Star Trek Adventure modules.
Which is badass, actually.
That I am writing and running. I'm very excited for those. And the other 2 are actually going to be for 2 brand new game systems out there from Wet Ink Games. They are the Heckin' Good Doggos. That just kickstarted at the beginning of this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be my family-friendly game. And then I am writing something for the very, very brand new that just kickstarted their Psychic Kids game.
Oh, yeah.
Which is going to be a blast. So I look forward.
Knowing how that story works out, that's going to be really cool.
Yep. Let's just say that my 10 years of writing and running our LARP is going to come in handy for that particular game.
About time. About time we get use out of that.
So again, I'm going to be writing 4 games. Look for them for Gen Con with the Lurking Fears group. I will be doing those. I look forward to hopefully having you guys in my games. My voice is going to be gone by then.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I'm hoping to get maybe some videos and stuff up on TikTok here as well for
Sounds
all
good.
of those conventions. Beyond that, I don't know. Collection. You'll be collecting.
Yeah, I'll be collecting. I'll be writing some stuff for Pick Up and Go games. I've got.
We have a module that we're finishing.
We have a module that we're probably about 90% of the way through.
About 95.
Called Shadazar Tower.
It is our first high level adventure. I think we started at level 9.
Level 9 goes from level 9 to level 11.
Yep.
And
our first playtest is coming up.
Coming up here in about
2 weeks.
2 weeks or so. We're going to test that with a bunch of friends. Beyond that, I'm working on another small accessory called Towns and Taverns.
And I'm trying to convince these guys to maybe it's time to do a GM screen. So hopefully...
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I could see that. I've always thought...
A 2-seek GM screen would be
I've always
perfect.
thought redoing Aurora's catalog would be cool.
Oh, God, I loved Aurora's catalog.
I know. But
That was second edition.
I know.
Was it second or third?
No, it was second.
Second edition.
But do it for Crypts and Creatures. Do it for Shalaria. In that style, wouldn't that be cool?
What do you guys think? Should we?
Yeah,
try
let's get some feedback on that one. I like that idea.
So beyond that, obviously, any the TV shows, movies, anything that's coming out, because Super Mario Brothers is debuting like today.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just poke this up so you can see. What's that?
Ding ding.
So I took my daughter to go see the Dungeons and Dragons movie the other day, and was able to get one of those little popcorn containers. So because I didn't.
Can we bring that back and I can get free popcorn then?
I don't know. Probably, maybe. I don't know if it's free popcorn, but
I don't know. It's better than paying $7 for popcorn.
That's all.
Whatever the hell popcorn costs nowadays at a theater. It's freaking expensive.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. We hope you enjoyed this. We'd love to, like, subscribe, share. Let us know what you think of the Dungeons and Dragons movie. If you were at GaryCon, or if you were at Midwest Gaming Classic, we'd love to hear from you. And again, check us out, pickupandgo.games. You can check us out on Facebook. You can check us on Instagram, Geeks Unplugged.
Or you can use the information superhighway and... Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Kurt Whelan.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, guys. Until next time, game on.
Game on.